Hi, I'm Tom DeWeese, President of the American Policy Center, and I want to bring you another report from the front lines in our battle to stop Agenda 21 and sustainable development. The planners, the ICLEI and the American Planning Association are in a panic over the successes that we have had over the last several months in pushing back Agenda 21 in communities all over this country. And so the American Planning Association has put together what they call a boot camp to train their people on how to counter our efforts. My friends, that's a victory for our side because we have pushed back our little ragtag band of freedom fighters across the country. You should be proud of yourself of what you've accomplished, but we've got to be prepared for what they are about to bring down on us. And just for an example of what they're doing, they've created what they call a glossary for the public. This is a new way of promoting Agenda 21 and pretending that it doesn't exist, using George Orwell 1984 newspeak to hide what their true agenda is. It says right on the front of the memo, given the heightened security of planners by some members of the public, what is said or not said is especially important in building support for planning, i.e. Agenda 21. Here's some of the words that you're no longer going to hear them using as they shove this horrible tyranny down your throat. They're not going to talk about organizing and facilitating. They're not going to talk about public visioning or public-private partnerships or regionalism or regional governments or smart growth or stakeholder councils. They say in the memo, avoid talking about or linking plans and planning with regulatory matters. My friends, all of the planning is nothing but regulatory matters, so there's no way to separate it, but that's what they're going to try to do. They're not going to talk about comprehensive plans and councils of government or regional governments or eminent domain or police powers or smart growth or sustainability. All of these words are now going to be changed to something designed to lull you to sleep so that we aren't alarmed by what they're doing. And above all, 3 times in this memo it says, there is no hidden agenda. Those are the words you're going to keep hearing from them from now on. The whole agenda is hidden when they start using newspeak and words that are designed so you don't know what's going on. Well, that's okay. Let them do that because now we're preparing to fight back. I've been telling people for months as I've spoken around the country that I was creating a Stop Agenda 21 action kit. I've done it. It's done. It's ready to go. And this will have in it everything that you need to fight back. Let me just give you some examples of what's in here. First of all, there is a manual. This manual has all the history, all the background of where Agenda 21 and sustainable development came from. It's got pages of quotes from the planners on what their true agenda really is. I think you'll be astounded by what you read there. It has an entire section on regional governments, an entire section on conservation easements and why they're bad, a section on smart growth and what the fallacies are there, on sustainable farming and conservation easements. It goes into the problems in the education curriculum with connecting the dots on how the education curriculum and Agenda 21 are tied together. It goes into detail on sustainable medicine and its connections to what you now know as Obamacare. It's all sustainable development. It talks about the connections right now, not only between the teachers and what's going on in classrooms, but also your preachers in the pulpits and how they're tied in an unholy alliance to transform America, promoting Agenda 21. That's just in the manual. There's also 2 DVD sets. One of them has 4 presentations. One by myself. This is a speech that I've been giving across the country on a general outline of what Agenda 21 is. There's another presentation by Dr. Michael Kaufman connecting the dots from Agenda 21 to many other issues that you find yourself fighting. There's a presentation by Don Casey that gives all kinds of details on the attacks on the rural communities and sustainable farming. And there's a DVD presentation by Michael Chapman, one of the best experts in this country on education and the ties between education and the education curriculum in Agenda 21. The other one has 2 workshops on it. One by Beverly Eckman, her whole workshop on how to defeat consensus and stand up to it. The other one by Dan Byfield on coordination. His organization created the process of coordination as a tool, another tool that we can use to fight Agenda 21. And there's a 14-minute PowerPoint presentation designed for elected officials by John Anthony, all on this DVD. You'll also have a manual by Bev Aikman on Agenda 20, on the consensus process. And this goes along with her workshop, so you have that. The heart of the kit is this, the workbook. It has a spiral binding on it on purpose. In here, first of all, it has several articles on it on how to fight back. It details how to set up a property rights council and how all that has come about. It has sample legislation that is being used across the country. There's a legislation in here from the state of New Hampshire on literally making it mandatory that federal agents, state agents, local government agents have to get permission, written permission from the property owners for them to be able to come on your property. And that's in here, as well as several other pieces of legislation. There is a manual on coordination that goes along with Dan Byfield's presentation on that. There is a side-by-side in here, comprehensive development plans. Henry Lamb has gone through several real comprehensive development plans, and he does a side-by-side analysis to show how those comprehensive plans are directly tied to Agenda 21. You can take these plans and compare it to your own community's plan, and you'll see right up front you can do the same thing with yours. And there are documents directly out of the Federal Register showing how the EPA is directly, its policies are directly tied to Agenda 21. Whenever you have these skeptics come up to you and say, gee, I don't know what Agenda 21 is, and we're not doing anything in our community with that, this will show you it comes right straight out of government agencies like the EPA. All of these things are in here, and the most important thing in the workbook, there are handouts, things that you can use in public meetings, that you can make copies directly out of this workbook and hand out at your meetings. There's one on several on sustainable development itself. There's one on the hazards of conservation easements. There's my document I put together is what is sustainable development in one easy lesson is in here. All of these documents are in here, and you can make copies of these and pass them out at meetings. Also, going along with the workbook, all these documents, we've provided them on a special CD so that you can put it directly into your computer and you can download these handouts from there. It also, on the CD, is the complete manual and workbook are on the CD as well, along with Michael Kaufman's map. You've all seen this on the internet. A copy of this is on here. It's on the CD, so you can put these in the computer and you can print them out directly from your computer. And finally, there's this document. It's called Shattered Dreams. These are stories of people who have been victims of these policies and these processes for the last 20 years. Many times you'll go to your elected officials and they'll say, gee, I don't know anybody who's ever had any problem with this. We're just trying to do good for the community. Once you read many of the stories in this document, you will never be able to turn back. You will become a dedicated activist to get justice for these people and for people all across the country, as documented in Shattered Dreams. This is the action kit. The Stop Agenda 21 action kit has everything in it that I can possibly think of that you need. I've worked on this issue for 18 years. I put this together with the help of experts who are out in the field. I have talked to activists across the country. I quizzed them. I asked them, what do you need? What kind of tools do you need? I've listened to them and I've answered as best I can with this Stop Agenda 21 action kit. You need to have a copy of this if you intend to go out into the field and start fighting Agenda 21 in your community. This is the most comprehensive package ever created in the fight to stop Agenda 21. The cost is $195, and I know that that's expensive, but it is absolutely comprehensive. I have gathered this information from some of the greatest experts in the country on this issue. They've worked with me putting it together, and I have quizzed the activists in the field. What do you need? What kind of tools do you need? They responded to me, and I have answered with this kit. I've put everything in it I possibly can to use my own expertise, the expertise of these other people, and the requests by these activists what they need. It's here. And not only that, for the $195, that includes your shipping. You also will receive free updates as this issue moves forward. Day in and day out, new things come out, and we will have new information, new tools to fight back with, anything that is pertinent. We will begin to put that together, and we will send you free updates to this kit, so you will always stay up to date. Once you purchase it one time, you will always be up to date with what we know. Also, you will get a 1-year free subscription to my online newsletter, the DeWeese Report. This is the newsletter for the last 17 years I've been publishing that has revealed much of the information, breaking the story on what Agenda 21 is, and creating the fight that we have today, and the ability to educate people on what this is all about. So, you can get the action kit. You need to get it today if you want to be in the front lines and know exactly how to fight back. Go to my website, AmericanPolicy.org, and right on the front page you will see the place to click on there for the action kit. And when you do that, make sure that you give us your email address as you're filling out the form, because that's the way that you'll be able to get the free updates and the way you'll be able to get the free newsletter. So go there today, AmericanPolicy.org, and get your Stop Agenda 21 Action Kit today, and join us on the front lines.